Hello, everybody. You're listening to Townsquare Media Montrose. My name is John Ingram, and I am once again very pleased to be joined by what I call the VSA crew, Stacey Ryan, of course, with the Valley Symphony Association, Troy Raper, the music director and orchestra conductor of the VSA, and Sue Frank, the CEO of TEI Rock Drills here in Montrose. And we've got a very interesting conversation taking place today. Normally, when we touch base with the VSA, we talk a lot about upcoming shows, etc. And while I do want to get into how the season has progressed and what to look forward to, specifically we want to highlight TEI Rock Drill's involvement with the Valley Symphony Association. And I know that we've talked many times with Stacey and Troy about how important it is for the community to come together, not just in attendance for the concerts, but organizations, businesses in the community that are able to make the VSA possible. So, Stacey, I want to start with you, and I want to talk about the timpani situation, if you will. And maybe you could explain a bit about how the timpani is used in the concerts, how important it is to the overall sound, and then the problem that the VSA faced when the timpani they had were no longer up to snuff, if you will.
Sure. So I'm actually going to defer to Troy about that first part of that question. And when he's done, I'll take on the little odyssey we had to get our new timpani.
So, Troy, if you could tell us how the timpani is used in the concerts, how important it is, etc. I think for novices like myself, that would be very interesting to kind of set the scene.
Absolutely. So the timpani really are the core of the percussion sound and intonation in an orchestra, because in a piece that has timpani, the timpani are attuned kettle drums. So they're able to tune to a specific pitches, which are generally in the root of the chord. So what that means to the music is everybody is sort of listening backwards to the timpani to grab proper pitch. And when it's done well, and when you have a good set of timpani, that's a very easy thing to grab onto as a musician. And when they're bad, it's just as easy to grab on, and it changes your ability to play in tune. And obviously, if you're playing in tune, then everything has a richer sound and has more depth. And the timpani are really key to that process. So having a good set makes it's exponential. The amount of difference it makes in an orchestra, you can tell instantly if you have a good set of timpani or not, just by the basis of the sound that the orchestra is making. Not everything uses timpani, but when it does have timpani, it is core to what we do.
And I know that timpani can be quite expensive. I was kind of mind blown by the fact that they can run around $3,000 to $5,000 each. And Stacey, that's where I'm going to kick it to you. How did the timpani situation materialize in that you noticed the ones you had were no longer up to snuff, to use that phrasing again, and how did things go from there?
Sure. It was actually during a conversation I was having with our board president, Heartland Club, who said, we are just hurting with timpani. We can't beg, borrow, or steal one. We have been borrowing them before, and that situation changed, and it just came up in conversation, and a light bulb went on in my head that went backward in time. I went backward in time in my mind and remembered a conversation. Well, actually not a conversation. I remembered preparing for a conversation with Sue with TEI, and in my research and looking at their webpage, at one point I saw a phrase that said that TEI produces precision percussion instruments. Of course, they don't create timpani; they create rock drills, hence the name. But it's just something that had stuck in my mind, and I thought, that's the perfect combination, because they create precision percussion instruments. We need a precision percussion instrument, like times 4. And so I thought, I'm just going to go talk to Sue.
And Sue, this is perfect time to go to you. First of all, thank you for coming on. And I'm curious what your thoughts were when Stacey originally approached you. It's a natural tie-in, a natural fit. So what was the thought on behalf of TEI about the tie-in?
Well, we were already looking for a way to support the Valley Symphony because I think it's extremely important to support the arts in the community. And when Stacey came up with the percussion instruments, I was like, yes, we do make percussion rock drills. What a perfect fit. And so it was an exciting way to tie it all in. And I thought kind of cool, too.
I thought so, and I thought you might. I know it's all percussion, So when I could remember just being so excited to come talk to you, and then I was like, I really hope she kind of gets this, and I think she will, and I think she'll be excited. And you were like instantly, yeah, we could do that. That would be totally fun. So it just went from there, and I was just absolutely on cloud nine, not only because you said yes, but because of the implications on so many different levels, how it shows the businesses working together with the arts. It shows, a long time, decades old business who really, you're not going to get rock drilling business off of supporting the symphony. But what you do is you get community capital. As a business supporting community because your employees live here, it's quality of life, all those really great things. But it also just showed how you can, as an organization like ours, you can partner with really just about anybody in a meaningful way, in a mutually meaningful way. So the mutuality, it just warmed my heart as a development director. I was so excited.
And it really showcases, again, when you talk about the multi-$1,000 cost for each timpani, it is a very, very, it's a good example of just how important it is for community involvement and organizations and businesses in the area to come together, because the VSA is an all volunteer organization. And there are, though, despite being volunteer organization, real costs that come with putting on these concerts. And Troy, I want to go back to you. I'm kind of curious about, where do you get a timpani? Is there, what timpanis did you decide to pursue and buy? How did that all go once Sue and TEI said that they would sponsor the timpani for the concerts?
Well, it was interesting because I came down to conduct a Christmas concert last year as my audition per se for the position.
Right.
And we were using the old timpani, and the percussionist came up to me and we were talking, and I said, we were trying to get things in tune, and the timpani didn't work properly, and she said, well, we have an opportunity to go find some. And in my past life, I had a chance to work with a bunch of percussionists out of Denver Percussion. So I called over there and I said, what do you guys have? And they had some Gen Mark IIs that are generally a rental set that they send out with, like, the Colorado Symphony and Colorado Springs. And anytime orchestra goes on the road, they rent some of that big percussion. So he had a set that they had just gotten in, and we worked out a deal. And so these are some real high-level professional instruments. And the reason they're so pricey is that they are really, really precision instruments. They're fully tunable, and every piece is really a detailed creation. So, and they're big, and they're made of copper, and
Sure.
They just take a lot to put together. So we were just ecstatic to be able to find a real professional level set of timpani that we could use.
Yeah. And Sue, I know TEI Rock Drill is such a big supporter of the community as a whole. And, on behalf of the community, I say thank you. I'm sure Stacey does too. And Troy, of course. And I'm curious, Sue, how you kind of look at contributions to organizations like the Valley Symphony Association. Why is it so important for TEI to give back to the Montrose community? And what's kind of the overall thought process behind the involvement?
So for us, we made the decision when I took over running the organization that we would keep our giving dollars local, because we felt like as a company in the community that we needed to support the community, and we try to look for organizations that affect our employees. And I know, of course, we have Hope West and the Boys and Girls Club and places like that definitely provide a service, but we also have a strong belief that we need to support the arts and to continue to give that opportunity to people in the community to enjoy symphony that you may not have ever seen because there's a lot of people that don't travel very far away from where
Sure.
they live and grow up.
And we've talked before, very well said also, and we've talked before, Stacey and I have, about how far people come to actually play in the VSA. And people may not travel. It's a very localized organization, I would imagine. I'm sure they get some people from out of town to come to the concerts, but the volunteers definitely come from far and wide in many counties on the Western Slope. And again, giving the volunteers the opportunity to play in a symphony and be part of the VSA, that is something that would not be possible without contributions like yours, the instruments, and especially something that's so robust while also still being so important to the overall sound. And Stacey, I just want to ask you, I mean, we talked about the origin of this and how it all came to be, but what does it mean to you to have a supporter like TEI Rock Drills, who really just makes it all possible and comes through in the clutch?
Oh, I can't. It's hard to explain. I'm going to get tongue-tied. That experience of that conversation with Sue was really truly meaningful to me, because it just brought so many different things together. It's so layered, and they're going to touch the future. The idea is that these timpani will be around for a long time, and we'll take good care of them, and that will help us grow. And Troy again could speak to the musical growth, but hopefully it will help us as we grow musically. We will continue to expand our audience. We are, as you mentioned, we are an all-volunteer regional performing arts organization. We do pull from the Grand, Uncompahgre, North Fork, and the Gunnison Valleys. That's why we are the Valley Symphony. And we bring people in from all over to do this. And they, in turn, do bring their families, their friends. And the idea is to continue to grow this. And Troy could also speak to how special and rare truly it is. I know I've said that many, many times, but I think having Troy explain from his perspective just how rare this organization is an important talking point.
Yeah, and it really is part of my my love of what this is becoming. I've been in the area for a very long time as a professional musician and teacher and in Grand Junction, and really didn't realize how much this orchestra was doing. And so for me to have the opportunity to jump in now and really start, I hesitate to say sell it, but to come in and really be able to show and showcase what the orchestra is capable of is really exciting for me, because it doesn't happen a lot. And there are a lot of orchestras that used to be that have failed in the last 10 to 12 years. And it's because they don't have support. And to have the support of Sue and the TEI Rock Drills and all of our sponsors, it's just unbelievable to me. And as I delve deeper into this process throughout my first year here, I'm just astounded at how many people have taken ownership of this organization, and it's exciting to think about what we're going to be able to do in the future.
Yeah, it's great, and I know that there's a lot more when you talk about the future. There are a few very near future dates for the concerts for the 23-24 season. Most, I should say, the soonest being on Saturday, February 24th and Sunday the 25th, a night at the movies, Hollywood favorites starring the classics. You can get a lot more information about that at valleysymphony.net. We are going to talk more in depth about the upcoming show here in the coming weeks. And I know that it is part of what has made season 52 a huge success is participants and donations from organizations and businesses such as TEI Rock Drills. Stacey, is there anything else that you would like to add on anything? Your time to shine.
I do. Actually, just one quick thing is that for that concert, for our upcoming movie concert, you can dress up in costume.
Oh, very good.
So if I start planning now, I already know who I'm coming as.
Well,
so because the musicians get to too, we don't have to wear black.
Well, and I was looking specifically about the timpani, the beginning sounds of 2001: A Space Odyssey, the theme song, the intro song. I know that is a timpani heavy theme. You could dress up like 2001: A Space Odyssey if you wanted.
Put your gorilla suit on.
There you go. Exactly. Those were real humans in those gorilla suits too.
Yeah, but I do. The other thing I did want to say is we did wait for quite a while after Sue agreed to this. The conductor search actually was fairly unexpected, and it kind of put the timpani on the back burner until we got the new conductor. And then of course Troy made the decisions and did all that good stuff. And so They were actually delivered back in August, and I was so excited. I actually took a video, and then I came in and showed Sue the video, and she was so kind as to say, "Is there anything more you need?" I'm like, "Could you do one more year? Because really, to get a full set, we need 4." And so again, I kind of got that whole warm fuzzy feeling again because she just said, "Yeah, we can do that." So another $5,000 so that we can get our 4th timpani, along with some other percussion toys and things that we need. Royce has his eye on a xylophone and all kinds of stuff. But really, again, it just, having teased out that musical connection between the two groups, it just really made it extra special for TEI. To make it extra special for TEI was also really fun. We honored them at our November concert, and their incredible generosity is going to help us to continue to bring classical music to life. And it showcases them as an all-star community partner for sure, that they've been doing this for over 40 years, sometimes quietly. I wanted to, just wave my pom-poms around as best I could and tell them how wonderful they are and make sure everybody else knew. And that's also what makes it so special for me as a development director and for my love of the organization. It just shows how two seemingly disparate organizations can come together and really support each other and the arts and their community to provide a legacy that will really affect the present as well as the future generations and our organization as well.
That is good. Very, very good. And Sue, I want to kick it over to you one last time and just give you a chance. Anything going on with TEI Rock Drills in the community, in the business, anything else that you want to speak to the general public about? You can say no. Just thought I'd give you the opportunity.
Well, I don't know. We're going strong, and it's been a busy year. I know there's been ups and downs with people, and a lot of talk with everything that's going on in our world right now. But we're excited to be seeming to power through it and still being able to help with important projects.
And once again, I want to say thank you on behalf of just the community for all the support that you lend, especially to the VSA. And Troy, I want to, before we wrap up here, I would be remiss not to talk about the new VSA YouTube page. Tell us a little bit about the origins of that, and then we can tell people how they can sign up or subscribe.
Well, specifically, I wanted to have really an archival record. I was hoping to have at some point when I took the position, I wanted to look back and go listen to some concerts, and that wasn't readily available. And so my initial thought was let's archive our shows and grab a camera and get a recording of it. And then I decided that maybe we should put that out where people who are maybe not able to drive to a concert or not able to come see us live to have the opportunity to come hear what we do and offer some other abilities, especially for folks that are stuck at home.
Yeah.
And would like to get out or at least like to hear a performance. And so I shot the first couple concerts and edited those down and threw them up on the YouTube video. So you can find that at Valley Symphony or Valley Symphony Association. If you just type in Valley Symphony Association and Montrose or go to the website and grab the link, it'll get you there.
And I know that YouTube has a threshold where once you hit 1,000 subscribers, you're able to live stream. Is that right, Stacey?
Yeah.
How close are we, and what do you want people to do? Make sure you get to that number.
I think we're over 300 now, and so really anybody out there, there's no blood involved. It doesn't hurt. It's really painless. Just go out and subscribe to this channel. It will help us tremendously. And that's really what we need. We need 700 more people to go do that. And I think you could do it on multiple devices too. I think I've done it 3 times.
Yep, you definitely can. You game the system a little bit. But like Troy said, it gives a chance for people who may not be able to come out to the shows. You can see
absolutely.
it.
And as putting my musician hat on, and my husband also sings in the chorus. Our parents were thrilled to see that. My parents are Dad's birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday!
They are in California, and even Seth's parents are in Denver, and they were so excited to be able to see that and hear it and feel like a part of it. It was so exciting. It's really cool, and we have Troy to thank in spades for that, because without his wherewithal and background and his willingness, that we wouldn't have that. And it's something that I've wanted forever, but just couldn't do.
So you go to youtube.com, you type in Valley Symphony Association, the page will come right up. You can hit the subscribe button. As Stacey said, it's free, it's painless, it's very easy. And again, it'll open up the VSA to a whole new audience once they hit 1,000 subscribers. So I want to thank you all for coming on today. Stacey, Ryan, of course, the constant here in our VSA chats, Troy Raper as well, music director and orchestra conductor, and Sue Frank, the CEO of TEI Rock Drills. Until next time, and we'll be back talking about A Night at the Movies Hollywood Favorites starring the classics on February 24th and 25th. More info on that at valleysymphony.net, or you can just wait until you hear more info about it right here on Townsquare Media Montrose.